People want to know why I deleted my original YouTube channel, which surpassed about 200,000 subscribers, and I'm going to talk to you today specifically about why I did that. Number one, what happened to my channel was BS. Everybody knows it. Well, everybody that really knows, right? The people that didn't like me, that preyed on my downfall, they're probably clapping behind the scenes, knowing that something, illegitimate happened, but whatever, right? To make a long story short, I dealt with a lot of censorship. I was blocked. They demonetized my channel. They kicked me off Facebook, right? So I dealt with that on a lot of platforms. I restarted here on YouTube, in quotes, and I made a new Instagram channel, and I began, I think, in the beginning of June of 2025. My channel originally started in 2012 or 13 on YouTube. 2013, I started uploading videos. By 2018, actually no, by 2015, 16, I think I hit 100,000 subscribers, and then by 2018, I had gotten to about 200,000 subscribers. By 2019 and 20, all the censorship and all that stuff started. I'm not going to bore you with all that stuff. That's basically what happened. And then from there, everything went to SHIT. So we're here today. I was tired of trying to breathe life into that new channel. The metrics on the back end didn't make any sense. My content was not being pushed out to new people. I've gotten messages from some of you on this new channel that now all of a sudden I'm popping up in your feed again. Well, there you go, right? I looked at the back end and my channel was being promoted to Colombia, other parts of South America, and different places, even though I have a America-based sales channel. I do have a Spanish channel, right? That would make sense, but why would they redirect all the traffic from my channel to Central and South America when I talk about sales and that channel is primarily in English? It makes no sense. I'm going to walk you through some things to specifically say why I decided to do that. Because some people will say, well, just leave it. No. Starting over. Number one, I wanted to, and I've had other moments of this, shed the old to bring in the new. The only reason I would hold on to it was because of insecurity, lack of belief in myself, and if I truly believed inside that I wouldn't be able to recreate what I created, even though now I'm older, wiser, better, more skilled, more effective communicator, so on and so forth. I had to have a tremendous amount of courage to do that, and I know a lot of people that wouldn't do that. Same thing when I left my previous real estate company. I was making about $500,000 a year in revenue share, which is automatic payments every month. I left because, again, they tried to censor me, and I joined my new company. I've recreated that same revenue structure, not as high yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm somebody who stands on principle. Number two, right? I brought up that big piece, the courage. Why? I believe that I can do it, that I can recreate it, and that I can make it better. And what better way to demonstrate it and show myself and the world that I believe than to cut that cord? Going back to the issue that I told you in the circumstance of me having to leave my previous company because they try to censor me and tell me what I can say and what I can't say. I lost count of how many messages I got from people who were still at the company saying, I side with you. I don't agree with censorship, but I'm staying because I'm making X amount of money and I can't leave. Some of those people may watch this video. And if you are watching it and you know that I'm talking about you, we may still be friends, but I've lost some respect for you because you will not stand on principle like I did. You're selling yourself out in this instance for money. And anybody would admit it, and you would have to too. I stand on those principles. Now again, what's happening should have never happened in the first place. Everybody should be on doing their merry thing. That's fine. But the circumstances are what they are. But I'm going to act accordingly. So I'm going to remove and cut that tie. Because at the same time, it forces you to go all in with your decision, which is something that I've preached for a long time. And I've done that in my life. So I'm not just preaching it to people from this throne saying, you need to do this, right? Everything that I've said to people that I give as advice or that I say to do, I've done myself, which is why my channel has primarily stayed focused around the subject matters that I actually have experience in. Higher level communication stuff, sales, real estate, running a business. I've done them and I still do them. So I'm not just pulling stuff out of my ass. If I tell people knock on doors, I've knocked on over 100,000 residential doors and businesses combined. Make phone calls. I made hundreds of thousands of cold calls, especially if you add in all the automation of dialing. I've lost count. presentations with clients. I've sold to thousands and thousands and thousands of people, retail and online, whether it's traditional real estate sales, whether it's selling a service, a product, an information product, coaching, thousands and thousands and thousands. So I'm speaking from a position of I've done it. I'm not just theory, which is what a lot of people do and why a lot of people are getting caught in that web and trap of people who are phony. It's theory. It's what they think instead of actual fact. So that's why I stay in the lanes of what I do. Or if I have an opinion on something or it's something that's not my expertise, I'll make it very clear to people as I start to speak on it. Hey, this is my opinion. Hey, I'm not an expert on this, but this is what I recommend, or this is my thoughts on the subject, right? You would do it like that. So I had, going back, I had to cut that cord. What better way to demonstrate it? What better way to embody that philosophy than to snip that cord and actually do it? Ask yourself, would you do that? If you had 200,000 subscriber channel, will you delete it like I did? Yeah, I re-uploaded some of the videos, maybe 70 to 100, but there was 3,000 videos on that channel, roughly, I think. Or maybe I surpassed 3,000 when I deleted it. I can't remember. And between all the reels and the long form videos, and I'm doing 2 long form videos a day on this one and 3 shorts, I'm at already 200 and something on this channel, and it's only been up for a month. Meaning in 12 months, again, the other ones were just long form, but if you include shorts, by the end of 1 year on this channel, I'll be almost back up to the amount of videos that I did before for 10 years. So I'm ramping up my production. Same thing with the new Instagram. I'm doing 3 posts / reels every single day. It took courage to do that, right? And it's a demonstration of these philosophies and things that I've been preaching to people. That's number 1. Okay, number 2, I like I said earlier, even though this is a separate point, I wanted to shed the old to bring in the new. I'm in a different place. I think differently. I'm a different person. I've grown. I've evolved. Things have changed. I'm not the same person that I was 12 years ago. And I was noticing that certain people identified more with the older version of me, which makes sense. They're newer in their journey. They may be younger. Because when you look at the metrics of my audience, I think it's like 75% is between the ages of 18 and 35, which is younger than me. I'm in my 40s now. So they identify with that younger version of me who's coming up and hustling, right? So I'll recreate some of that stuff. But at the same time, I don't want people to fall in love with that, or for me, myself, feel like I need to go back and do that type of stuff, which I don't want to do. People need to see the evolution. They need to understand that they themselves have to grow and evolve and change. Certain things about you will stay the same. But a lot of things are going to change, and they're going to have to change in order for you to become this better, newer version of you. So this point is irrelevant, the second point, to new followers or people who don't really follow me. For the people who are on this channel or rediscovering me after a long time, this second point is very relative to them and relatable to them. Because a lot of them are infatuated with that stuff. But think about it this way. Let's say somebody said, well, I missed that old version of you. So you missed the old version of me that wasn't as good as I am now, that was broke, didn't have a business, wouldn't be able to help you as much, right? So on paper, it doesn't make sense, but I get it. They have more affinity with that version of me because it's closer to being like them. If they look at me now, which a lot of people do, and this is something I think we do, it's good and it's bad as human beings. We compare ourselves. They're comparing. It's okay to look at me and be like, oh, right, he got the Lambo or he did this. It's good because that's, again, a reference point for you to go after, which is what I did in my beginning stages of my journey. Looked at people who were far ahead of me and said, I want to get there one day. But when you start feeling bad about it through comparison, that's a bad thing. That's not good anymore. Now it's detrimental to your growth and you don't want that. So I think in that respect, a lot of people were looking at it incorrectly. They'll feel more affinity for the old version of me because it's more relatable, or that version of them doesn't make them feel bad, versus now they might feel like, oh, I'm behind. Like I remember getting messages from younger kids, oh, I watch your content, but I feel like my life is over and I'm so behind. I'm like, my dude, you're 15, 16 years old. Number one, you should be an adult watching my content, but number two, why would you have that thought at such a young age? I'm like almost 3 times older than you. What are you talking about? You have a head start. I didn't get my head on straight in regards to a lot of these beliefs and philosophies and way of being until my late 20s or early 30s. You're getting a jump at half my age. You should be happy. Not looking at it the wrong way, but that's an example of the thief of comparison, meaning comparison causes that, right? So we have 2 principal points so far, about 10 minutes into the video. Number 3, I wanted to show people what can be done. I want them to see the rebirth and the recreation, and me launching, relaunching, and reintroducing Team BC and growing my nationwide team, which, by the way, if you're watching this, I'm still recruiting agents nationwide. I have one of the most robust and comprehensive training platforms on the planet when it comes to sales and real estate. And if you join us, despite of what you see out there with statistics, our agents at Team BC right now are killing it. Even the newer agents are in the top 2 to 5% in the industry. Why? What we do works. Because you have a great leader and a great system behind it. But I wanted to show people, this dude is crazy. He deleted all that and did it. Yep, and I'm going to do it all over again and some. Because look at what I left. A lot of people hadn't even caught up to me after 5 years of my stuff being frozen and destroyed. I'm going to come back with a vengeance. And pay attention too, because all the content that I've done over the years has been giving value, putting people first. When have you ever seen me come on these platforms that badmouth people, yet so many other people have talked shit about me or ripped off my content and never given me credit? That's okay. But I'm not going to sit there and be negative and get up and caught up in drama and gossip, because that's not what this channel is about, and that's not how I live. I don't badmouth people. Ask people who know me, do I badmouth people? No. I have zero interest in doing that. There's no reason to do it. I don't care. I'm focused on my creation, getting better, helping people, building my team, fulfilling this legacy and purpose of mine, and moving forward and be an example of that. This is why over the years, if you talk to a lot of real estate experts and sales experts, the ones that know me, even if they don't like me on a personal level, they'll say that they respect me because I represent the right things. Hard work, honesty, transparency, high level of skill, high level of ethics, which is what this thing is about. That's why I know, again, based on those foundational principles, my content and what I do and my brand has no choice but to explode, because the cream will always rise to the top. And if you follow that formula, you will do the same. So this point number 3 is to prove to people that I can do it again, and I will. It shall be done. Watch. And I want you to watch especially closely if you think I'm crazy or if you think it's not going to happen. I want you to pay very close attention. I've already had some Instagram on Reels on a brand new account with like 200 or 300 followers get 2, 3, 4,000 views, and it's being pushed now. Finally, my content's being pushed to people who don't follow me, new people, which is what got shut off back in 2019 and 2020. That's what's going to cause this ripple effect. The people who have never seen or haven't seen my stuff for a long time being either newly introduced to it or reintroduced to it will cause this wave and this avalanche to happen, and it will be done. So number 3 was to prove to people that it could be done. Number 4 was to, in a way, put my back against the wall where there's no other option. Burn the boats. Don't give yourself an out. Nothing to fall back on. No plan B, which again, I've been preaching and I've done over and over. When I moved from my previous company to the new company I'm at, Real Brokerage, I moved post haste very quickly. I knew I had to do that. Could I, in retrospect, looking back, I could have made that transition a little bit smoother because it did cause friction in my team because Real hadn't opened in certain states that I had team members in, so I lost a chunk of my team. And that put stuff with Team BC on pause for like a year and a half, where I just kept what I had. Now, as of the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, we're growing again. This is why you've seen me add 10, 15 agents in the last month or two, and we're back with a vengeance. Even here locally in Miami, I've recruited 3 or 4 people. Looking back, I might have shifted a few things. However, overall, not a bad decision. I did what I had to do. Didn't want to give myself a plan B and all these other things that people give themselves. Because I understand there's moments where an individual has to go all in. And this is a way, with point number 4, for me to demonstrate that to the world. And again, embody these principles and philosophies that I've been discussing for well over a decade now online. Now, most of the time, you don't want to wait until your back is against the wall. And this is different because I'm not waiting until I'm broke or, again, life kicks my ass. I'm forcibly putting myself in this position. That's different. That's different. Number 5, every couple years, I reestablish my brand and I reintroduce it to the world, which is a marketing method that you can take advantage of. I always want my brand and what I do to feel fresh to people. Why do you think I renamed my coaching program from Modern Success to Distinguished Agent? You think I chose those words in either case just by chance? My initial program was called Modern Success, success in a modern format, and it blew up. Then it evolved. Right now, Modern Success got converted to the Real Estate Agagi, which is the training grounds for the Spartans that they would enter at 7 years old, which is the same price point, $97 a month. A lot of newer people I send to that. My higher tier, more advanced coaching is called Distinguished Agent. Distinguished Agent, which is for sales and for real estate. That has a ring to it. Distinguished Agent. It's distinguished. Somebody who's distinguished is higher class, right? I choose my words very carefully. So this rebranding and rebirth and the evolution and growth, because remember, life is dynamic, not static. It's constantly changing. There's ebbs and flows and things are moving forward. Your brand, your marketing, and what you do has to also be an extension of that and a representation and embodiment of that. You need to continuously grow and evolve and not stay the same. So this is another point that I'm emphasizing here and why I decided to do this, because again, it is an extension of that. I'm always doing this. Same thing with me working with a developer now for like 6 months or a year, probably closer to 6 months-ish. That's like the pinnacle of real estate, and I've done that. And now I'm gonna start incorporating my team members, this is how I give a value add to my team members. The top people on my team, as new developer projects are released with this developer, I'm gonna start bringing in my top tier members that have earned it through their loyalty, time with the team, and their production. And I may at some point in the future, this is me brainstorming, assign them whole projects. Hey, these are the top 3 agents, you guys get this project. Pretty cool, huh? But see, I put myself in that position to be able to give that value add to my agents. And I had to grow beyond just being a real estate agent and a nationwide team leader. It was real estate agent, team leader, locally, then I went national, right? Now I'm working with a developer. I've continued to evolve and grow. That's the way you're supposed to do it. And I've been showing it to you. So this is an extension of that in a different way. Starting over, brand new, boom, we're gonna blow this thing up. We had one cat for 1 minute, now we got the other one. What's up, Pharaoh? This is the older one. This is the original one. If you remember, you've been following me since like 2017, 2018. I've had this dude for years. He's like 8 years old now. I think, because he has the same birthday as me, June 23rd. So I think you're 8 now, bro. You're getting up there. You're getting old like me. What's up, buddy? Right. Why else did I decide to delete a YouTube channel with 200,000 subscribers? Well, at the end of the day, like I've always told you guys, and this will be the final point, I'll wrap it up. I always said that when I stopped having fun with social media, I would stop doing it. And this, for me, the thought of it, although it was big, and it wasn't a momentary, just quick decision, in the long run, it excited me. It got that fire back up under me, a new project, right? Something new, something fresh. And the excitement of that reignited that fire for me to really start pushing stuff on social media, which is why I've been hitting it so hard with the reels and the long form content and all this stuff that I'm doing. It relit that spark, which was starting to die. It really was. I think a part of that is the way and the direction that social media is going, because I think it's more like brain rot content, and not so many people are interested in really teaching people or doing something productive, right? Like I see right now, a lot of it is like reaction. Like I could easily do reaction videos, but to me, that's not content. I know some people make great money off that. I'm not hating on them, you know. That's the hustle. Do your thing, man. Make your money, right? But I don't know. I look at reaction content like it's not a real, true content creation. We're just feeding off other people, right? And somewhere along the lines, it just became really popular, right? Which is odd to me, right? I can't remember the last time I watched. Again, people will send me that stuff, but myself watching reaction content, can't remember. Don't think I ever have. Maybe I've watched like 1 or 2 videos. But that excitement I brought up to a lot of the people close to me. You have to be excited about the things that you're doing in life. There has to be a fire or energy behind it. Otherwise, you're just going through the motions. And when you go through the motions, nothing's going to happen. You're going to burn out, and you're going to deal with the everyday stuff that most people are dealing with. You won't be able to activate that next level, which is really what you want. Okay, so in summary, right, there's a lot more, but that's basically why I decided to delete a YouTube channel with just under 200,000 subscribers. I would do it again in a heartbeat. It's not our problem. We're recreating it here, and we're going to be bigger than we were last time. All right, we'll see you guys.